Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama,
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, keep that going. Percussion, come on. Hare Hare Rama, hey, oh Rama, Mahendra. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare.
Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare
Hare Rama, Rama Rama. Hey, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. Nitai Gaur Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Hari Bol, Nitai Gaur Hari Bol. Jai Jai Prabhupada, 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 Jai Jai Prabhupada. Nitai Gaura Premanande, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki, Shri Harinam Mahamantra Ki, Shri Harinam Prabhu Ki, Gaura Premanande. Nitai Gaura Haribol, 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 Nitai Gaura Haribol. I'd like to give a warm welcome to Mahendra Prabhu. Haribol! Up till now, we couldn't get no bhav. Welcome, Prabhu. Here, is there a place somewhere for Srimadanda? Welcome back. Gains too high. And if you're joining us for the first time, we're here reading from the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita. And we're in the Madhya Lila, chapter 3, starting with Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's stay at the house of Advaita Acharya. That's where we are. For those who are keeping score at home, Jai Jai Shri Chaitanya, Jai Nityananda, Jaya Dvaita Chandra, Jaya Gaura Bhakta Brinda. Chapter 3. Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's stay at the house of Advaita Acharya. In his Amrita Pravaha Bhashya, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur gives the following summary of the third chapter. After accepting the sannyas order at Katwa, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu traveled continuously for 3 days in Radha Desh, and by the trick of Nityananda Prabhu, eventually came to the western side of Shantipur. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was induced to believe that the river Ganges was the Jamuna. When he was worshipping the sacred river, Advaita Prabhu arrived in a boat Advaita Prabhu asked him to take his bath in the Ganges and took him to his Advaita's house. There, all the Navadvip devotees, along with Mother Shachi Devi, came to see Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. This house was located at Shantipur. Mother Shachi Devi cooked for Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, and at that time there were many joking exchanges between Advaita Prabhu and Nityananda Prabhu. In the evening there was a mass sankirtan at the house of Advaita Prabhu, and Mother Shachi Devi gave Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu permission to leave. She requested him to make Jagannath Puri Nilachala his headquarters. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu granted his mother's request and, followed by Nityananda Prabhu, Mukunda, Jagannananda and Damodar, left Shantipur. Bidding farewell to Mother Shachi Devi, they all proceeded toward Jagannath Puri, following the path of Chhatrabhoga. Text 1. After accepting the sannyas order of life, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of intense love for Krishna, wanted to go to Vrindavan, but apparently by mistake he wandered in Radha Desh. Later he arrived at Shantipur and enjoyed himself there with his devotees. I offer my respectful obeisances to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. All glories to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, all glories to Nityananda, all glories to Advaita Prabhu, and all glories to all the devotees of Lord Chaitanya headed by Srivas. At the end of his 24th year, in the month of Magh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the sannyas order during the waxing period of the moon. After accepting the sannyas order, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, out of intense love for Krishna, started for Vrindavan. However, he mistakenly wandered about in a trance continuously for 3 days in the tract of land known as Radha Desh. Purport: the word Radha Desh comes from the word Rashtra, or state. From Rashtra, the corrupted word Radha has come. The part of Bengal on the western side of the Ganges is known as Radha Desh. Another name is Paundra Desh or Paindo Desh. The word Paindo is a corrupted form of the word Paundra. It appears that the capital of Rashtra Desh was situated in that part of Bengal. Passing through the tract of land known as Radha Desh, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu recited the following verse in ecstasy. Atam sa'astaya paratmanishtam adyasitam purvatamar maharshibi aham tarishami durantaparam tamo mukundangri nishevayaiva. As a Brahmin from Avanti Desh said, I shall cross over the insurmountable ocean of nescience by being firmly fixed in the service of the lotus feet of Krishna. This was approved by the previous acharyas who were fixed in firm devotion to the Lord, Paramatma, the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Purport: in connection with this verse, which is a quotation from Srimad Bhagavatam 11:23-57, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur says that of the 64 items required for rendering devotional service, acceptance of the symbolic marks of sannyas is a regulative principle. If one accepts the sannyas order, his main business is to devote his life completely to the service of Mukunda, Krishna. If one does not completely devote his mind and body to the service of the Lord, he does not actually become a sannyasi. It is not simply a matter of changing dress. In Bhagavad Gita 6.1, it is also stated, Anashrita karma palam karyam karma karoti ya sasannyasi cha yogi cha. One who works devotedly for the satisfaction of Krishna is a sannyasi. The dress is not sannyas, but the attitude of service to Krishna is. The word paratmanishta means being a devotee of Lord Krishna. Paratma, the Supreme Person, is Krishna. Ishvara Parama Krishna Sakchit Ananda Vigraha. Those who are completely dedicated to the lotus feet of Krishna in service are actually sannyasis. As a matter of formality, the devotee accepts the sannyas dress as previous acharyas did. he also accepts the 3 dandas. Later, Vishnu Swami considered that accepting the dress of a Tridandi was Paratmanishta. Therefore, sincere devotees add another danda, the Jiva danda, to the 3 existing dandas. The Vaishnava sannyasi is known as a Tridandi sannyasi. The Mayavadi sannyasi accepts only 1 danda, not understanding the purpose of Tridanda. Later, many persons in the community of Shiva Swami gave up the Atmanishta, devotional service of the Lord, and followed the path of Shankaracharya. Instead of accepting 108 names, those in the Shiva Swami Sampradaya follow the path of Shankaracharya and accept the 10 names of sannyas. Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the then existing order of sannyas, namely Ekadanda, he still recited a verse from Srimad Bhagavatam about the Tridanda sannyas accepted by the Brahmana at Avantipur. Indirectly, he declared that within that Ekadanda, 1 danda, 4 dandas existed as one. Accepting Ekadanda sannyas without Paratmanishta, devotional service to Lord Krishna, is not acceptable to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. In addition, according to the exact regulative principles, one should add the Jiva danda to the Tridanda. These 4 dandas, bound together as one, are symbolic of unalloyed devotional service to the Lord. Because the Ekadandi sannyasis of the Mayavad school are not devoted to the service of Krishna, they try to merge into the Brahman effulgence, which is a marginal position between material and spiritual existence. They accept this impersonal position as liberation. Mayavadi sannyasis, not knowing that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was a Tridandi, think of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu as an Ekadandi sannyasi. This is due to their vivarta, bewilderment. In Srimad Bhagavatam, there is no such thing as an Ekadandi sannyasi. Indeed, the Tridandi sannyasi is accepted as the symbolic representation of the sannyas order. By citing this verse from Srimad Bhagavatam, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the sannyas order recommended in Srimad Bhagavatam. The Mayavadi sannyasis who are enamored of the external energy of the Lord cannot understand the mind of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. To date, all the devotees of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu following in his footsteps accept the sannyas order and keep the sacred thread and tuft of unshaved hair. The Ekadandi sannyasis of the Mayavadi school give up the sacred thread and do not keep any tuft of hair. Therefore, they are unable to understand the purport of Tridanda sannyas, and as such, they are not inclined to dedicate their lives to the service of Mukunda. They simply think of merging into the existence of Brahman because of their disgust with material existence. The acharyas who advocate the Daiva Varnashrama, the social order of Chaturvarnyam mentioned in the Bhagavad Gita, do not accept the proposition of Asura Varnashrama, which maintains that the social order of Varna is indicated by birth. The most intimate devotee of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, namely Gadadhar Pandit, accepted Tridanda sannyas and also accepted Madhva Upadhyaya as his Tridandi sannyasi disciple. It is said that from this Madhvacharya, the sampradaya known in Western India as the Vallabhacharya sampradaya has begun. Sri Gopal Bhatta Goswami, who is known as a Smrityacharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava sampradaya, later accepted the Tridanda sannyas order from Tridandipad Prabodhananda Saraswati. Although acceptance of Tridanda sannyas is not distinctly mentioned in the Gaudiya Vaishnava literature, the first verse of Srila Rupa Goswami's Upadeshamrita advocates that one should accept the Tridanda sannyas order by controlling the 6 forces. Vacho vegam manasakrodha vegam jihva vegam udropasta vegam etan vegam yo vishaheta dhira sarvam apimam prithivim nasishat. One who can control the forces of speech, mind, anger, belly, tongue, and genitals is known as a Goswami and is competent to accept disciples all over the world. The followers of Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu never accepted the Mayavada order of sannyas, and for this they cannot be blamed. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted Sridhar Swami, who was a Tridanda sannyasi. But the Mayavadi sannyasis, not understanding Sridhar Swami, sometimes think that Sridhar Swami belonged to the Mayavad Ekadanda sannyas community. Actually, this was not the case. 7. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved the purport of this verse on account of the determination of the mendicant devotee to engage in the service of Lord Mukunda. He gave his approval of this verse, indicating that it was very good. The real purpose of accepting sannyas is to dedicate oneself to the service of Mukunda. By serving Mukunda, one can actually be liberated from the bondage of material existence. Purport: in this connection, Srila Bhaktivinoda Thakur says that Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accepted the sannyas order and recommended the determination of the Avantipur Bhikshu to engage in the service of Mukunda. He accepted the Brahmana's version due to his determination to serve Mukunda. The sannyasi dress is actually an attraction for material formality. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not like such formality, but he wanted the essence of it, service to Mukunda. Such determination in any condition is paratmanishta. That is required. The conclusion is that the sannyasa order depends not on the dress, but the determination to serve Mukunda. 9. After accepting the sannyas order, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu decided to go to Vrindavan and engage himself wholly and solely in the service of Mukunda in a solitary place. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was en route to Vrindavan, all the ecstatic symptoms became manifest, and he did not know in which direction he was going, nor did he know whether it was day or night. As Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu went toward Vrindavan, Nityananda Prabhu, Chandrasekhar, and Prabhu Mukunda followed him. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passed through Radhadesh, whoever saw him in ecstasy exclaimed, Hare, Hare! As they chanted this with the Lord, all the unhappiness of material existence diminished. All the cowherd boys who saw Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu passing joined with him and began to shout loudly, Hare, Hare! When he heard all the cowherd boys also chanting Hare, Hare, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was very pleased. He approached them, put his hand on their heads and said, go on chanting like that. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thus blessed them all, saying that they were all fortunate. In this way he praised them, and he felt very successful because they chanted the holy name of Lord Hari. Calling all the boys in confidence and telling a reasonable story, Nityananda Prabhu instructed them as follows. If Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu asks you about the path to Vrindavan, please show him the path on the bank of the Ganges instead. When the cowherd boys were questioned by Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the path to Vrindavan, the boys showed him the path on the bank of the Ganges, and the Lord went that way in ecstasy. As the Lord proceeded along the bank of the Ganges, Sri Nityananda Prabhu asked Acharya Ratna, Chandrasekhar Acharya, to go immediately to the house of Advaita Acharya. Sri Nityananda Goswami told him, I shall take Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to the bank of the Ganges at Shantipur, and Advaita Acharya should carefully stay there on shore with a boat. After that, Nityananda Prabhu continued, I shall go to Advaita Acharya's house, and you should go to Navadvip and return with Mother Shachi and all the other devotees. After sending Acharya Ratna to the house of Advaita Acharya, Sri Nityananda Prabhu went before Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and gave notice of his coming. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was in ecstasy, and he asked where Nityananda Prabhu was going. Nityananda replied that he was going with him toward Vrindavan. When the Lord asked Nityananda Prabhu how far it was to Vrindavan, Nityananda replied, just see, here's the river Jamuna. Saying this, Nityananda Prabhu took Chaitanya Mahaprabhu near the Ganges, and the Lord in his ecstasy accepted the river Ganges as the river Jamuna. The Lord said, oh, what good fortune! Now I have seen the river Jamuna. Thus, thinking the Ganges to be the river Jamuna, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu began to offer prayers to it. O river Jamuna, you are the blissful spiritual water that gives love to the son of Nanda Maharaj. You are the same as the water of the spiritual world, for you can vanquish all our offenses and the sinful reactions incurred in life. You are the creator of all auspicious things for the world. O daughter of the sun god, kindly purify us by your pious activities. This verse is recorded in the Chaitanya Chandrodaya Nataka 5.13 by Kavi Karnapur. Kavi Karnapur ki.
Joy.
After reciting this mantra, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu offered obeisances and took his bath in the Ganges. At that time he had on only one piece of underwear, for there was no second garment. While Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was standing there without a second garment, Sri Advaita Acharya arrived in a boat, bringing with him new underwear and external garments. When Advaita Acharya arrived, he stood before the Lord and offered his obeisances. After seeing him, the Lord began to wonder about the entire situation. Still in his ecstasy, the Lord asked Advaita Acharya, "Why did you come here? How did you know that I was in Vrindavan?" Advaita Acharya disclosed the whole situation, telling Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, "Wherever you are, that is Vrindavan. Now, it is my great fortune that you have come to the bank of the Ganges." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu then said, "Nityananda has cheated me. He has brought me to the bank of the Ganges and told me that it was the Jamuna." When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu accused Nityananda of cheating him, Srila Advaita Acharya said, "Whatever Nityananda Prabhu has told you is not false. You have indeed just now taken your bath in the river Jamuna." Advaita Acharya then explained that at that spot the Ganges and Jamuna flow together. On the western side was the Jamuna, and on the eastern side was the Ganges. Purport: the Ganges and the Jamuna mix at the confluence of Allahabad, Prayag. The Jamuna flows from the western side and the Ganges from the eastern, and they merge. Since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu bathed on the western side, he actually took his bath in the river Jamuna. 37. Advaita Acharya then suggested that since Chaitanya Mahaprabhu had taken his bath in the river Jamuna and his underwear was now wet, the Lord should change his underwear for dry garments. Advaita Acharya said, "You have been fasting continuously for 3 days in your ecstasy of love for Krishna. I therefore invite you to my home, where you may kindly take your alms. Come with me to my residence." Advaita Prabhu continued, "At my home, I have just cooked 1 palmful of rice. The vegetables are always very simple. There is no luxurious cooking, simply a little liquid vegetable and spinach." Saying this, Sri Advaita Acharya took the Lord into the boat and brought the Lord to his residence. There Advaita Acharya washed the feet of the Lord and was consequently very happy within. All the eatables were first cooked by the wife of Advaita Acharya. Then Srila Advaita Acharya personally offered everything to Lord Vishnu. Purport: this is the ideal householder's life. The husband and wife live together, and the husband works very hard to secure paraphernalia for worshipping Lord Vishnu. The wife at home cooks a variety of foods for Lord Vishnu, and the husband offers it to the deity. After that, arati is performed, and the prasadam is distributed among family members and guests. According to the Vedic principles, there must always be a guest in a householder's house. In my childhood, I have actually seen my father receive not less than 4 guests every day. And in those days, my father's income was not very great. Nonetheless, there was no difficulty in offering prasadam to at least 4 guests every day. According to the Vedic principles, a householder, before taking lunch, should go outside and shout very loudly to see if there is anyone without food. In this way, he invites people to take prasadam. If someone comes, the householder offers him prasadam, and if there is not much left, he should offer his own portion to the guest. If no one responds to his call, the householder can accept his own lunch. Thus, the householder's life is also a kind of austerity. Because of this, the householder's life is called the Grahastha Ashrama. Although a person may live with his wife and children happily in Krishna consciousness, he also observes the regulative principles followed in any temple. If there is no Krishna consciousness, the householder's abode is called a grihamati's house. Householders in Krishna consciousness are actually grihastas, that is, those living in the ashrama with their families and children. Sri Advaita Prabhu was an ideal grihasta, and his house was the ideal grihasta ashrama. 42. All the prepared food was divided into 3 equal parts. One part was arranged on a metal plate for offering to Lord Krishna. Purport: the word bataila, meaning increased, is very significant in this verse. It is a sophisticated word used by grihastas in Bengal. Whenever food is prepared and we take away a portion, the food is actually decreased. But here, it is the system to say bhadaila, or increased. If food is prepared for Krishna and offered to him and the Vaishnavas, the stock is increased, never decreased. Of the 3 divisions, one was arranged on a metal plate, and the other 2 were arranged on plantain leaves. These leaves were not bifurcated, and they were taken from a banana tree that held at least 32 bunches of bananas. The 2 plates were filled very nicely with the kinds of food described below. The cooked rice was a stack of very fine grains, nicely cooked, and in the middle was yellow clarified butter from the milk of cows. Surrounding the stack of rice were pots made of the skins of banana trees, and in these pots were varieties of vegetables and mung dal. Among the cooked vegetables were patolas, squash, manakachu, and a salad made with pieces of ginger and various types of spinach. There was sukta, bitter melon mixed with all kinds of vegetables, defying the taste of nectar. There were 5 types of bitter and pungent suktas. Amongst the various vegetables were newly grown leaves of nimba trees fried with eggplant. The fruit known as patola was fried with pulabhadi, a kind of dal preparation first mashed and then dried in the sun. There was also a preparation known as kushmanda manakachi. Purport: we request our editors of cookbooks to add all these nice preparations described by the experienced author, Srila Kaviraj Goswami. The preparation made with coconut pulp mixed with curd and rock candy was very sweet. There was a curry made of banana flowers and squash boiled in milk, all in great quantity. There were small cakes in sweet and sour sauce, and 5 or 6 kinds of sour preparations. All the vegetables were so made that everyone present could take prasadam. There were soft cakes made with mung dal, soft cakes made with ripe bananas, and soft cakes made with urd dal. There were various kinds of sweetmeats, condensed milk mixed with rice cakes, and a coconut preparation, and every kind of cake desirable. All the vegetables were served in pots made of banana leaves taken from trees producing at least 32 bunches of bananas. These pots were very strong and big and did not tilt or totter. All around the 3 eating places were 100 pots filled with various kinds of vegetables. Along with the various vegetables was sweet rice mixed with ghee. This was kept in new earthen pots. Earthen pots filled with highly condensed milk were placed in 3 places. Besides the other preparations, there were chipped rice made with milk and mixed with bananas, and also white squash boiled in milk. Indeed, it is not possible to describe all the preparations that were made. In 2 places, there were earthen pots filled with another preparation made with yogurt. Sandesh, a sweetmeat made with curd and banana. I am unable to describe it all. Upon the stack of boiled rice and all the vegetables were flowers of the tulsi tree. There were also pots filled with scented rose water. There were 3 sitting places where soft cloths were placed. Thus Lord Krishna was offered all the food, and the Lord took it very pleasantly. It is the system after offering food to perform Bhoga Arti. Advaita Prabhu asked the two brothers, Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, to come see the arti. The two lords and all others present went to see the arti ceremony. After artik was performed for the deities in the temple, Lord Krishna was made to lie down to rest. Advaitacharya then came out to submit something to Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Sri Advaita Prabhu said, "My dear lords, kindly enter this room." The two brothers, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu, then came forward to take the prasadam. When Lord Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu went to accept the prasadam, they both called Mukunda and Haridas to come with them. However, Mukunda and Haridas, both with folded hands, spoke as follows. When Mukunda was called for, he submitted, "My dear sir, I have something to do that is not yet finished. Later I shall accept the prasadam, so you two Prabhus should now please enter the room." Haridas Thakur said, "I am the most sinful and lowest among men. Later I shall eat one palmful of prasadam while waiting outside." Purport: although the Hindus and Muslims lived together in a very friendly manner, still there were distinctions between them. The Muslims were considered Yavanas or low-born, and whenever a Muslim was invited, he would be fed outside of the house. Although personally called by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Nityananda Prabhu to take prasadam with them, still, out of great humility, Haridas Thakur submitted, "I shall take the prasadam outside of the house." Although Haridas Thakur was an exalted Vaishnava accepted by Advaitacharya, Nityananda Prabhu and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, nonetheless, in order to not disturb social tranquility, he humbly kept himself in the position of a Muslim, outside the jurisdiction of the Hindu community. Therefore he proposed to take prasadam outside the house. Although he was in an exalted position and equal to other great Vaishnavas, he considered himself papishta, a most sinful man, and adhama, the lowest among men. Although a Vaishnava may be very advanced spiritually, he keeps himself externally humble and submissive. 64. Advaitacharya took Lord Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu within the room, and the two lords saw the arrangement of the prasadam. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu especially was very pleased. Purport: Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was pleased because he saw how nicely so many varieties of food were prepared for Krishna. Actually, all kinds of prasadam are prepared for Krishna, not for the people, but the devotees partake of prasadam with great pleasure. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu approved of all the methods employed in cooking and offering food to Krishna. Indeed, he was so pleased that he said, "Frankly, I will personally take the lotus feet of anyone who can offer Krishna such nice food and place those lotus feet on my head, birth after birth." When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu entered the room, he saw 3 divisions of food, and he knew that all of these were meant for Krishna. However, he did not understand the intentions of Advaita Acharya. Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur states that one of these servings was offered in a metal dish and was meant for Krishna, whereas the other 2 were placed on big banana leaves. The offering on the metal plate was personally offered by Advaita Acharya to Krishna. The other 2 servings on banana leaves were to be accepted by Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda. That was Advaita Acharya's intention, but he did not disclose this to Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. Thus, when Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu saw the food offered in 3 places, he thought that all of it was meant for Krishna. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Let us sit down in these 3 places and we shall take prasadam." However, Advaita Acharya said, "I shall distribute the prasadam." Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu thought that all 3 servings were meant for distribution. Therefore he asked for another 2 banana leaves, saying, "Let us have a very little quantity of vegetable and rice." Advaita Acharya said, "Just sit down here on these seats." Catching their hands, he sat them both down. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "It is not proper for a sannyasi to eat such a variety of foods. If he does, how can he control his senses?" Purport: the word upakarana indicates a variety of foods such as dal, vegetables, and other varieties of possible dishes that one can eat very nicely with rice. It is not proper, however, for a sannyasi to eat such palatable dishes. If he did so, he would not be able to control his senses. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not encourage sannyasis to eat very palatable dishes. For the whole Vaishnava cult is Vairagya Vidya, as renounced as possible. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu also advised Raghunath Das Goswami not to eat very palatable dishes, wear very nice garments, or talk on mundane subjects. These things are all prohibited for those in the renounced order. A devotee does not accept anything to eat that is not first offered to Krishna. All the rich foods offered to Krishna are given to the grahastas, the householders. There are many nice things offered to Krishna: garlands, bedsteads, nice ornaments, nice food, and even nicely prepared pan, betel nuts. But a humble Vaishnava, thinking his body material and nasty, does not accept such preparations for himself. He thinks that by accepting such things, he will offend the lotus feet of the Lord. Those who are sahajas cannot understand what Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu meant when he asked Advaitacharya to bring 2 separate leaves and give a small quantity of the prasadam to him. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu did not accept the food that had already been served, Advaitacharya said, "Please give up your concealment. I know what you are, and I know the confidential meaning of your accepting the sannyas order." Advaitacharya thus requested Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu to eat and give up juggling words. The Lord replied, "I certainly cannot eat so much food." Advaitacharya then requested the Lord to simply accept the prasadam without pretense. If he could not eat it all, the balance could be left on the plate. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "I will not be able to eat so much food, and it is not the duty of a sannyasi to leave remnants." Purport according to Srimad Bhagavatam 11:18-19, Bahir jalashayam gatva tato pasprishya vadyata vibhajya bhavitam shesham mungchita shesham ahritam. Whatever edibles a sannyasi gets from a householder's house, he should take outside near some lake or river, and after offering the food to Vishnu, Brahma, and the sun, 3 divisions, he should eat the entire offering and not leave anything for others to eat. Do they teach that in sannyas school? In this connection, Advaitacharya referred to Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's eating at Jagannath Puri. Lord Jagannath and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu are identical. Advaitacharya pointed out that at Jagannath Puri, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate 54 times a day, and each time he ate many hundreds of pots of food. Sri Advaita Acharya said, "The amount of food that 3 people can eat does not constitute even a morsel for you. In proportion to that, these edibles are not even 5 morsels of food for you." Advaita Acharya continued, "By my great fortune, you have just come to my home. Please do not juggle words, just begin eating and do not talk." Upon saying this, Advaita Acharya supplied water to the 2 lords so that they could wash their hands. The 2 lords then sat down and, smiling, began to eat the prasadam. Nityananda Prabhu said, "I have undergone fasting for 3 days continuously. Today I had hoped to break my fast." Although Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was thinking that the quantity of food was enormous, Nityananda Prabhu, on the contrary, thought it not even a morsel. He had been fasting for 3 days and had greatly hoped to break fast on that day. Indeed, he said, "Although I am invited to eat by Advaita Acharya, today also is a fast. So small a quantity of food will not fill even half my belly." Advaita Acharya replied, "Sir, you are a mendicant traveling on pilgrimage. Sometimes you eat fruits and roots, and sometimes you simply go on fasting. I am a poor Brahmana, and you have come to my home. Please be satisfied with whatever little food you have received and give up your greedy mentality." Lord Nityananda Lord Nityananda Prabhu replied, "Whatever I may be, you have invited me, therefore you must supply as much as I want to eat." His Divine Grace Advaita Acharya, after hearing the statement of Nityananda Prabhu, took the opportunity presented by the joking words and spoke to him as follows. Advaita Acharya said, "You are a reject Paramahamsa, and you have accepted the renounced order of life just to fill up your belly. I can understand that your business is to give trouble to Brahmanas." Purport: there is always a difference of opinion between a Smarta Brahmana and a Vaishnava Goswami. There are even Smarta opinions and Vaishnava Goswami opinions available in astrological and astronomical calculations. By calling Nityananda Prabhu a Brashta Avaduta, a rejected Paramahamsa, Advaita Prabhu, in a sense, accepted Sri Nityananda Prabhu as a Paramahamsa. In other words, Nityananda Prabhu had nothing to do with the rules governing Smarta Brahmanas. Thus, under pretense of condemning him, Advaita Acharya was actually praising him. In the Avaduta stage, the Paramahamsa stage, which is the supermost stage, one may appear to be Vishayi, on the platform of sense gratification. But in actuality, he has nothing to do with sense gratification. At that stage, a person sometimes accepts the symptoms and dress of a sannyasi, and sometimes does not. Sometimes he dresses like a householder. We should know, however, that these are all joking words between Advaita Acharya and Nityananda Prabhu. They are not to be taken as insults. In Kadadaha, sometimes people misunderstood Nityananda Prabhu to belong to the Shakta Sampradaya, whose philosophy is Anta Shakta, Bahi Shaiva Sabhayam Vaishnavo Mata. According to the Shakta Sampradaya, a person called Kalav Vaduta thinks materially while externally appearing to be a great devotee of Lord Shiva. When such a person is in an assembly of Vaishnavas, he appears like a Vaishnava. Actually, Nityananda Prabhu did not belong to such a community. Nityananda Prabhu was always a brahmachari of a sannyasi of the Vaidika order. Actually, he was a Paramahamsa. Sometimes he is accepted to be a disciple of Lakshmi Pati Tirtha. If he is so accepted, Nityananda Prabhu belonged to the Madhya Sampradaya. He did not belong to the Tantrika Sampradaya of Bengal. Advaita Acharya accused Nityananda Prabhu, saying, "You can eat 10 to 20 manas of rice. I'm a poor Brahmana. How shall I get so much rice?" A mana is a measurement containing about 4 kilograms. Whatever you have, though it be a palmful of rice, please eat it and get up. Don't show your madness and strew the remnants of food here and there. In this way, Nityananda Prabhu and Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu ate and talked with Advaita Acharya jokingly. After eating half of each vegetable preparation given to him, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu abandoned it and went on to the next. As soon as half of the vegetable in the pot was finished, Advaita Acharya filled it up again. In this way, as the Lord finished half of a preparation, Advaita Acharya again and again filled it up. After filling a pot with vegetables, Advaita Acharya requested them to eat more. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "How much more can I go on eating?" Advaita Acharya said, "Please do not give up whatever I have already given you. Now, whatever I am giving, you may eat half and leave half." In this way, by submitting various humble requests, Advaita Acharya made Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and Lord Nityananda eat. Thus Chaitanya Mahaprabhu fulfilled all the desires of Advaita Acharya. Again, Nityananda Prabhu jokingly said, "My belly is not yet filled up. Please take away your food. I have not taken the least of it." After saying this, Nityananda Prabhu took a handful of rice and threw it on the floor in front of him, as if he were angry. When 2 or 4 grains of the thrown rice touched his body, Advaita Acharya began to dance in various ways, with the rice still stuck to his body. When the rice thrown by Nityananda Prabhu touched his body, Advaitacharya thought himself purified by the touch of remnants thrown by Paramahamsa Nityananda. Therefore, he began dancing. Purport: the word avaduta refers to one above all rules and regulations. Sometimes not observing all the rules and regulations of a sannyasi, Nityananda Prabhu exhibited the behavior of a mad avaduta. He threw the remnants of food on the ground, and some of these remnants touched the body of Advaitacharya. Advaitacharya accepted this happily because he presented himself as a member of the community of Smarta Brahmanas. By touching the remnants of food thrown by Nityananda Prabhu, Advaitacharya immediately felt himself purified of all Smarta contamination. The remnants of food left by a pure Vaishnava are called Maha Prasadam. This is completely spiritual and is identical with Lord Vishnu. Such remnants are not ordinary. Spiritual master is to be considered on the stage of Paramahamsa and beyond the jurisdiction of Varnashrama institution. The remnants of food left by the spiritual master and similar Paramahamsas or pure Vaishnavas are purifying. When an ordinary person touches such prasadam, his mind is purified, and his mind is raised to the status of a pure Brahmana. The behavior and statements of Advaitacharya are meant for the understanding of ordinary people who are unaware of the strength of spiritual values, not knowing the potency of food left by the bona fide spiritual master and pure Vaishnavas. Advaitacharya jokingly said, "My dear Nityananda, I invited you, and indeed I have received the results. You have no fixed caste or dynasty. By nature, you are a madman." Purport: the words Sahajya Pagala, by nature a madman, indicate that Nityananda Prabhu was transcendentally situated on the Paramahamsa stage because he always remembered Radha Krishna and their service. This was transcendental madness. Sri Advaitacharya was pointing out this fact. To make me a madman like yourself, you have thrown the remnants of your food at me. You did not even fear the fact that I am a Brahmana. Purport: the words Apanara Sama indicate that Advaitacharya considered himself to belong to the Smarta Brahmanas, and he considered Nityananda Prabhu to be on the transcendental stage with pure Vaishnavas. Lord Nityananda gave Advaitacharya his remnants to situate him on the same platform and make him a pure unalloyed Vaishnava or Paramahamsa. Advaitacharya's statement indicates that a Paramahamsa Vaishnava is transcendentally situated. A pure Vaishnava is not subject to the rules and regulations of the Smarta Brahmanas. That was the reason for Advaitacharya stating, Apanara samamore kari bharatare, to raise me to your own standard. A pure Vaishnava or a person on the Paramahamsa stage accepts the remnants of food, Mahaprasadam, as spiritual. He does not consider it to be material or sense gratifying. He accepts Mahaprasadam not as ordinary dal and rice, but as spiritual substance. To say nothing of the remnants of food left by a pure Vaishnava, prasadam is never polluted, even if it is touched by the mouth of a chandala. Indeed, it retains its spiritual value. Therefore, by eating or touching such Mahaprasadam, a Brahmana is not degraded. There is no question of being polluted by touching the remnants of such food. Actually, by eating such Mahaprasadam, one is freed from all the contaminations of the material condition. That is the verdict of the Shastra. Now we'll take a few reflections or questions. 3, 2, 1. Okay, Simran.
Hare Krishna. Just on this note of Mahaprasadam, I've had a few encounters where Mahaprasad has externally gone off or expired, and I'm wondering what should be our mentality when we're in that situation.
Well, Prabhupada said that, and this is documented in one of the memories of Srila Prabhupada, but prasadam never goes to waste, because even if it goes off, and then you put it elsewhere, other living beings will take that prasadam. So you can remember that there are other living entities that don't have the same digestive systems as we do, and they can honor it. That was a practical answer. Was that what you were looking for? Okay.
I have some comments from the online audience.
From the online audience, finally. Please go ahead.
This one is for the last session before lunch. This is from Nikunja Nayak Prabhu.
Nikunja Nayak, we're missing you over here.
I like the point where Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami says that he cannot satisfy everyone and how he has to simply repeat his predecessors. Srila Prabhupada also demonstrated this mode all along. I believe he was in some Scandinavian country where the devotees told him that people there were very much fixated on equality. Nonetheless, Srila Prabhupada started his talk with,
what were they fixated in?
quote, society has to be divided into 4 categories, unquote.
Thank you.
And we have one more from His Grace Divyanga Das Prabhu.
From who?
Divyanga Das.
From Divyanga.
And he said, Shravanadi Jal.
Thanks, Divyanga Prabhu.
And one comment for the reading happening now from Bhaktin Rafaela. And she said, so wonderful hearing this while accepting prasadam.
Jai, Haribol. Ostensibly pasta. Anybody else? Questions, thoughts, reflections?
May I?
Yes, you may.
I was remembering that when the Chaitanya Charitamrita first became known to us in New Dwarka, where everyone was working on it, I don't even think it had come out published yet, but that part about grihastas making prasadam and then going outside their door, and we were all doing that. And you know the triangles that you ring, you know, it's not, you could either ring a bell or there's a triangle that you
over there.
make sound.
Next door they do that.
Yeah. And the devotees would say, if anyone is hungry, please come take prasadam. 3 times they would say that. It was really a nice thing that went on for a little while. I was just reminded of that when we read that.
If we can get it started up again. I'm going to get you a triangle as soon as we get home. Oh, Devavrata.
I like this. Prabhupada is speaking about Badaila, how prasadam is never in decrease but increase. So I've noticed in communities where there's a lot of attention given to Vaishnava etiquette, there's never a question of things running out or there not being enough. It's take more, take more, take more, take more. And somehow everything works out where the temple has the money in order to do it. The ingredients are there for them to be able to do it, and everyone is happier and more enlivened, and people want to come back in the future. I was appreciating this. There's an actual terminology that it's increased rather than decreased.
Yeah, that is part of the culture, right? Mahendra Prabhu.
I was reflecting on the the fact how the Lord has his own desire of dreaming of Vrindavana and going there and just dedicating fully to the service of Mukunda alone, but devotees had another idea, and seemingly it looks like they go against his desire and cheat him, and then Advaita Acharya called him, I just have a little rice and simple boiled vegetables, can you come? And then the whole feast, and he's forcing him, and Mahaprabhu is just accepting such a wonderful reciprocation of love. So devotees, they're not looking after their own satisfaction, but out of love they want to offer service. And just like in Chaitanya Bhagavat's mentioned, when Advaita Acharya and Sita Devi heard when Nimai was born, they started crying. Just hearing that he was born, and they were crying, waiting to be able to offer service. So their love is so strong that they can't resist, that even are ready to cheat him, and the Lord, even he had his own plan, he submitted to this love. So that's the nature of Lord Chaitanya.
Like Jita Jito is conquered. I was thinking in this section of the way Nityananda Prabhu breaks Lord Chaitanya's danda. There's a similar juxtaposition of the internal desire of the Lord and his maintaining external decorum. And in that pastime, enigmatic pastime of Lord Nityananda breaking his danda, Srila Bhaktisiddhanta talks about how Nityananda is acknowledging that he's not part of the Varnashram system. And Chaitanya Mahaprabhu feigned anger. That why'd you break my danda? It was my only possession in the whole world. And there's that tension throughout the Leela. And it's in this also, but Prabhupada brings it out, saying Advaita Acharya was happy to be liberated from the designation of being a smarta, having been hit by the grains of rice of Lord Nityananda. So just interesting how that cultural tension is always there. And also how pronounced it is, because although for many of us who grew up in a Western society where such designations are not as pronounced or non-existent, it's hard to imagine how strict the people were and how focused they were on what people's external situations were, what caste they were from, and so forth. And so that was an overall tension in the Leela also, which gives more importance, where it shows how much of a revolutionary Lord Chaitanya was, in the sense that Kiba Viprakiba Nyasi Shudrakena Noy Krishna Tattva Veta Se Guru Hoy, that he was preaching openly that all these designations are not the essence of life. Even Haridas Thakur elevating him to the topmost position, and Advaita Acharya feeding him first in the Shraddha ceremony, just to emphasize that because he was chanting Hare Krishna, he wasn't to be considered an outcast, as many so-called Hindus would have at that time. I think it's a good time to take a break. Take a break and come back here at 15 minutes after the hour. Gaur Premanande Haribol.